Hello, I'm Sarah Ellsworth Hoffman. Welcome to this week's installment of a brand new program called The Goldie Show. Our host Goldie firmly believes that everyday people are worth more than gold. The main focus of The Goldie Show is to talk with people who are making a difference in a positive way here in our community and in our world. In future episodes, we'll talk to Fort Wayne's Mayor Tom Henry. We will also talk with John Gillespie, who is a very talented producer, arranger, and audio recording engineer. You won't want to miss any of these upcoming shows. But on today's show, Goldie's guests are Mohammed Tanzeel and his wife Lori Ann Rehman. In a melting pot society of America, interracial marriages are becoming more and more common. Mohammed Tanzeel and Lori Ann Rehman join us to talk about their marriage and the reflections on how to have a happy union of two cultures while raising their children. Here is Goldie and her interview with Mohammed and Lori Ann.
Hi, welcome to the Goldie Show. I have here Mohammed and his beautiful wife, Lori. How are you guys doing today?
Pretty good.
Okay, fantastic. I'm going to ask you the question first. Mohammed, when you come from Pakistan over here, what was your reaction, or what made you all come here? What was your inspiration to come here?
Well, it's actually a pretty funny story. I was born and raised in Kuwait, and I got my high school diploma, or did my high school graduation from Kuwait, and then I went to Cyprus, Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, for further education. I decided to do computer science as my major. So 3 semesters into it, and I was on a semester break visiting my family back in Kuwait, and one of my friends called me, and he mentioned about this one college in Oklahoma, Edmond, Oklahoma, University of Central Oklahoma, and about their management information systems program. Mm-hmm. And he wanted me to talk to my dad and see if, we can, instead of going back to Turkish Cyprus, we can go to US and get our further education from there.
So you're originally from Kuwait?
I was born and raised in Kuwait, but my mom and dad are from Pakistan.
Okay, so your mom and dad are from Pakistan, but not you?
Yes.
Okay, that's cool.
So I spoke to my dad, and literally we only had 2 days left, and I was going to go back for my 4th semester. Uh-huh. So I talked to my dad about it and talked to him briefly as to what the college is and what the program is and all that. And he said, to my surprise, why do you want to go back to Cyprus? Just pack up your bag, get your stuff, and let's go to US. I mean, eventually you're going to go there for your master's, so why not get your undergrads there too? And I was really shocked to hear, because I wasn't expecting that answer. But so I went back to Cyprus as planned to get all my documents, from the colleges, recommendation letters from teachers and all that, and came back, sat for TOEFL exam, test of English as a foreign language at that time.
Yes.
We had to take that, and applied for the college, and then I went to see my grandparents in Pakistan for a couple of months.
Okay.
Came back, and I went to embassy. I was the 4th person in line, and the lady at the embassy, she was really nice. She asked me a couple of questions as to, so you're going to UCO and what major and all that, and asked a couple of questions with my dad, and she said, come back at 4 o'clock and get your passport. I said, are you guys issuing me the visa? And she said, yes, we will be. I said, what's the validity? And she said, it really depends on the consular staff. But yes, you're getting the visa. The bottom line is you will be able to go to US.
Well, that's nice.
So I went back at 4 o'clock and I looked at my passport, and there was it, the American visa, something that I could only imagine in my dreams, and now was in my hands in reality. So, and right after that, I went to Saudi Arabia, Mecca, for a pilgrimage.
Yes.
For a week.
Okay.
And came back, and 14th August 2000, at around 10 p.m., we left.
Wonderful.
My plane took off.
Now, when you came here, you said you came with your dad, correct?
No, I actually had a couple of other friends.
Okay.
So we were 3 people altogether, and one of my friends' dad was accompanying us.
Wonderful. Now, when you came here, was it kind of a culture shock for you, or were you used to, seeing things on movie, how movies are and how things they show? Was it a culture shock, or you just what you
Most
thought?
definitely, I wouldn't say I had any culture shock. Most definitely, what we see in Hollywood, definitely, U.S. is not all about that. All about guns and you know. But it's funny, when I landed at John F. Kennedy Airport, I pitched myself. I was like, okay, am I really in U.S.? And
We went like that.
yes, and and you know, as I was going for my immigration, my passport stamps, and all that, I saw 3 or 4 Mexican fellows, and immediately at that time I didn't have any idea that Mexicans are also dark complexioned, so I thought they were from Southeast Asia region.
Oh, I see.
So I went up to them and started talking to them in Urdu, and they looked at me thinking I was crazy. And then I realized, okay, not every dark complexioned person is from Southeast Asia.
Wonderful.
But no, to answer your question, no, I didn't have any culture shock.
Yeah, well, fantastic. Now, you went and studied in Oklahoma, you're saying?
Yes, in Edmond,
Okay,
Oklahoma.
and when you finished over there, what was your major?
Management Information Systems. I got my undergrads in Management Information Systems from University of Central Oklahoma.
All the places that you could choose from Los Angeles, New York, California, Florida, why Fort Wayne?
Well, it's interesting. I am in consulting business, or was in consulting, and I was traveling a lot. I was gone all the time, and I was missing out spending time with my kids and my wife. So,
Whoa, time out right there. Wife, now how did you meet her?
it's funny, I went to 7-Eleven one night to get some gas and get something to eat and drink, and I saw her. She was right behind me on the queue, and we just started talking. And, you know, it was just a casual conversation. And the next morning, I went to my class, Humanities, first day, second semester, and there she was.
Was
in
it
my
destiny?
class. Pardon me?
Was it destiny?
I guess, yes, you can say that. We were meant to meet.
Definitely meant to meet.
Okay, Lori, when he says that you were right behind him and you guys started talking, what came to your mind? I mean, you know, you're there in 7-Eleven and you started talking to him.
He made a funny comment because we were in line for a long time, and he made a funny comment, and I just kind of made a funny comment back, and that's kind of how it started. He was very easy to talk to. It was almost, I don't know, kind of cliche, but it kind of feels like we knew each other all along, but we didn't, you know what I'm saying, when we just met. But he was very easy to talk to, so.
So did you have any kind of, you know, that rush feeling like, whoa, where were you all this while? Like you said, you know, you felt like you knew him for a long time, but not knew him and felt comfortable. Did you have that kind of a...
I didn't think that probably I would ever see him again, you know what I'm saying?
But did you hope that you would see him again?
Yeah, I did.
So when you went to the class, she was there.
Yes.
And what did you think? Like, wait a minute, are you following me or something?
Kind of like that, yeah. I asked her if you were a spy and you're trying to follow me, or if you were with FBI or whatever. But no, that's how we met, and that semester, you know, we started talking, and then
We were good friends.
good friends.
We were
and
really
then-
good friends for a long time. Shopping buddies.
Yeah. And then,
Well, the best
I invited
relationship
him.
is...
Yeah.
Wow. Then when did you guys decide getting married? I mean, you know, did you think about your family and your family? You know, Lori, like, okay.
My mom always liked him from the moment, because he was here from overseas, didn't have family, didn't have anything, so we invited him over to like Thanksgiving dinners and stuff like that. So my mom always liked him, always invited him over for, you know, different occasions, birthdays, whatever. So there was, they always, you know, have good relationship. Yeah.
And when did you guys decide you want to get married, or how did you go about?
we were talking about it for a very long time, and we just never decided on a date. And 1st March 2005, I showed up at her house. Actually, it was 28th of February.
Oh, wow.
2005. I showed up at her house, and I told her we're going to get married tomorrow.
Wow, just like that.
Just like that.
And what'd she say? What was your reaction, Lori, when you said that?
We had been talking about it for such a long time, so it was kind of surreal, I guess. I don't know. It was, I was just, okay, wow, you know, I was kind of in shock, I guess. I don't know. Even though we talked about it for so long,
But all of a
I
sudden,
didn't think that it was going to happen for, you know, a long time.
yeah, because he shows up all of a sudden, we're getting married
Right.
tomorrow. It's like,
Right.
really, wait a minute here.
So, like, lots of planning had to go.
So when you guys decided to get married, did you get married your traditional way, or did you get married your traditional way? And how did you guys, I mean, your parents, did you tell your parents that you were going to marry him? Mm-hmm. And what was their reaction then?
Like I said, they always had a good relationship, so there was no, it was just okay.
He
I
being
mean,
from a different, you know, country, Muslim, did they have any objections or no? Mm-hmm. And what, you know, how your, you know, Muslims from you coming from that country, how did you break the news to your family? And was it hard? Was it challenging?
I did not tell my family until my firstborn was a year and a half old.
Really? Now,
Because my dad is a heart patient.
oh,
And I wanted to make him part of my, you know, the very one-time good ceremony, the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, once-in-a-lifetime occasion. I very much so wanted all my family to be part of it.
okay.
But at the same time, I know that I was rebelling against my family. Because I had talked to my dad, tried to talk to him a couple of times, and I wouldn't even finish my sentence, and he would say, I don't want to hear it.
Oh, so he didn't want you to marry out of your, you know,
He said,
society
"You come
kind
back,
of, you know?
whatever girl you want me to marry you, I will." And I said, okay, well then when I'm telling you, why not? He said no.
Wow.
And so I said, okay. So
you
now-
kept it from him.
Yes, and that was, to this day I have regrets.
Why?
Because I wanted my dad to be part of it, and I wanted to go through all those traditional ceremonies that is part of my country, my culture, that I never got to experience. But I guess to get something, you have to give up something. And
That's true.
I think I got much more than those ceremonies, and I have regrets about that, but I don't have any regrets that I married this woman.
Okay. Let me ask you this. How did you break the news? You said, you know, you did not tell him till your child was a year and a half. How
Yes.
did you?
My brother, we were talking one time, and he said, something is not right. I said, why do you say that? He said, like, because the way you're acting nowadays, and you seem a lot stressed and whatnot. And I said, no, everything is fine. He said, you're married, aren't you?
He just came out in
He
time.
just came on with it. You married, aren't you? I said, like,
Now he's the oldest brother?
my younger, I'm the oldest in the family.
Okay, so the
Three
youngest
brothers.
one, so he probably knew something was fishy down there.
And he said, do you have any kids? I said,
Whoa.
yes, I have a daughter.
Wow.
And he said, send me the pictures. So I sent him the pictures, and then he showed it to my mom. And my mom's reaction was that she hugged and kissed both their pictures,
Aw.
and she accepted her right away.
And your dad?
Then my mom went to Saudi Arabia, because my mom traveled between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan. And so,
His dad was in Pakistan. I mean, in Saudi
Saudi
Arabia
Arabia,
at the time.
Okay.
His mom was in Pakistan.
my mom went to stay in Saudi Arabia for a few months, and she broke the news one night. And the way I knew about it is when I called him. The way he answered the phone, I knew immediately the news was broke.
Oh, wow.
And that's how they came to know. My dad wasn't happy initially. It was a bumpy ride. But eventually that year, this is in 2007, I took my firstborn to Pakistan with me, just me, myself, and her, on my brother's engagement, and my cousin was getting married.
I hope you're enjoying today's show. In case you just tuned in, I'm Sarah Ellsworth Hoffman, and you're watching a new talk show called The Goldie Show. The Goldie Show is a weekly half-hour show with our host, Goldie, interviewing folks from different walks of life who make a positive difference in our community. You can see The Goldie Show every Thursday afternoon at 1 o'clock. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and also on our website, goldieshow.com. Now let's go back to Goldie and her guest Mohammed Tanzeel and his wife Lorianne Rehman, where they will tell us about their experiences from being two people with two completely different cultures.
Now wait a minute here. When you say you took your daughter, you didn't take your wife with you?
No, because she couldn't get off work.
I was supposed to go, but at the last minute, my boss told me she couldn't.
Let you go?
Yeah.
Well, how did you feel?
Sad.
Sad?
Yeah, I really wanted to.
Because it's the first time you're meeting your in-laws. I mean, for so long he couldn't tell them.
Right.
And what was your feeling about all that situation that he cannot see? But your parents know, but his parents doesn't know. How did it make you feel inside, you know?
Sad. I tried to encourage him to tell him, but he was worried about his dad, so I had to exercise my right to be patient. Which was a little bit difficult because every time he was on the phone, I would have to be quiet, or I'd have to make, our daughter be quiet, or we'd have to go in the other room or something. And
Very secretive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. And then you took your daughter to Pakistan. Everything, how did they accept all that?
My family, all my cousins and my extended family, like my uncles and aunts, they opened their arms
Wonderful.
right away.
Wow.
And the next year, my brother, 2008, my brother got married. And my parents threw us a surprising wedding reception.
Wonderful.
we got our willing.
We have actually pictures too.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. So how did you feel about all that?
Oh, that trip, it was, how would I put it?
Let's put it this way.
Interesting. We experienced everything from
Eid to death.
to death, yes. So we had akikahs, weddings, a funeral, birthday parties, like every kind of
Eid.
ceremony I think there was.
And
I experienced it all in a 6-week period.
So you had a package deal.
Yes.
From
It was
happiness to death.
busy every day. Joe, he has lots of family there, so.
How did you adjust in that culture? Did you have to wear a certain outfit? I mean, how did you accommodate yourself in that kind of an environment?
I didn't have to because his mom and dad made sure that everything from every detail, like for instance, my clothing, I took my clothes, my normal, American clothes or
Okay.
whatever. But to be very honest with you, I didn't wear any of them. I don't think I even wore one outfit. Just the one that, I think the only American outfit that I wore when I was there was the one from the flight. After that, his mom and dad had a tailor come from the first day and measured me, and then every day after that I had a new outfit from that. So
you felt like a little princess then, huh?
yeah, I did.
They pampered us very
They
much.
did.
Wonderful.
And they made sure that, from as far as the language aspect, everything.
That was my next
all of
question.
All of his family. It's funny, his younger cousins, they used to come and give me a lesson in Urdu every day. So, like, they would give me, like, a phrase or a word or something to learn. And his mom and dad were, and he as well, was very good at translating for the people who didn't speak English, but for the most part, most of his family.
So did you learn how to speak Urdu?
I know very little, yeah.
Very little. Now, what are some phrases that you know?
I can greet you, guy, and then, like if somebody asks me, how am I doing, I can say, Metiko Napakele.
Wow, wonderful.
So, I can understand a lot of it, but if it's like a small crowd like us, then I can understand like the gist of the conversation. But if it's a big crowd, like a lot of times his family would come together and there would be 50 or 100 people in the room, I would get so lost. So that's when, his other family members would notice that, and then they would kind of translate for me. So they made me feel very comfortable.
That's fantastic. Now, another question that I'm, reluctant to ask, but I will ask you. Now, he's from a Muslim world, and of course, you're from America, believing in Christ and all. How did you adjust to his religion, or did you adapt to his religion? Did you convert?
I converted, but not right away. I was Christian, he was Muslim, right? For probably a couple years.
Yes.
I studied a lot of different religions. And when I studied, I used to ask him, I started off by asking him questions, and he would, tell me the answers to my questions. He never, that was never
You didn't force
what do I
him?
want to say? No.
Okay.
It was my choice if I wanted to stay Christian or whatever. It was my choice. That was not an issue ever. Because he understood that I was Christian when we got together, and vice versa. I understood.
He's a Muslim.
Yes.
But you never tried to convert him either.
No.
Okay.
So he could probably tell you more about my religion than I could.
Wow.
He's very knowledgeable in a lot of different religions. So he can, we used to have long conversations about Catholicism and Buddhism and, Christianity and all these different languages. He's very knowledgeable in a lot of them. And so we used to have long conversations about
And when you converted,
different religions.
Yeah, when you converted into becoming a Muslim, what were your parents thinking, or did they question you? Did they, what are you thinking? You know what I'm saying?
My mom knew that I was asking questions a lot about the religion, and it came very slowly. So she took it, probably not as well as what I wanted her to, but at the same time, she said it was my choice. So maybe a little disappointing at first. And I think more so that like for instance, when our second daughter was born, one of the rituals is to shave the head after 7 days. I think my mom had a really hard time with that because we shaved our daughter's hair.
Okay.
I think that was probably
And it was just a matter of understanding. She didn't understand why we did that, and she thought that we did it because she's a girl and we wouldn't do it if it was a boy.
Okay.
But we actually explained it that it's part of the religious custom.
Yeah, that's what I was
When you
gonna
have a
ask you.
newborn, you shave it off because it's like you let the fresh, cleaner hair grow. And that's not to mention that you weigh those hair and you give out gold, or back in the day you would get a gold or silver in the equal amount to the poor and needy. Well, today we can go out and give the money to help basically to involve those less fortunate in your times of happiness and delight.
So how many children do you have now?
we have 3 together.
3 girls, 2 men.
2 girls and 1 boy. So.
That is fantastic. So you never had a problem when it came to language barrier and religion or anything?
For us, as far as our standpoint together, we were considerate of each other. We loved each other, and we knew going into our relationship what each other's religion was, and we had talked about it, being respectful. And that's, to be very honest with you, one of the reasons that I converted. One of the many reasons, I should say. Because he was respectful of my religion. He was respectful, and that impressed me. And so I started asking more questions, and I actually converted during Ramadan.
Wonderful. So you do go to the mosque and you do all the rituals
He took me to the mosque when I asked him to.
Okay.
He didn't force things on me. He never, he would ask me, do you want to go? And I used to say no at first. And the more I got to learn about the religion and stuff, he would ask me, do you want to go? And I'd say yes.
What is your message to the couples out there that they want to get married into, racials and all different religion? What is your message?
Be respectful to your partner.
I would second that. Be respectful and
It's best.
know that it may take some time, but eventually, and the most important thing that unfortunately a lot of people don't realize is religion is inside out, not outside in. So you can't have, we may see a lot of couples, unfortunately, in Muslim community where they go, American ladies married to Muslim friends, you see that first thing they put on is a hijab and all that. Great, but at the same time, when they have arguments, the first thing that comes off is the hijab. So, and then we find out, oh, I did it because of him. My message to all those couples are, don't do that. Let other party, let other person understand it, why we do that, and let them do it on their own free will. If we do that, I think we will be in much better position.
You have really opened so many people's eyes, both from a different world, different culture, different thing. And I appreciate you coming and talking to me. Thank you so much for your time. And it has inspired me, and I think a lot of people out there watching you will think twice now. Hey, if they can do it, we can do it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks to Mohammed Tanzeel and his wife Lorianne Rehman for being today's guests on The Goldie Show. Be sure to tune in to next week's show where Goldie will interview some of the Saudi Arabian students here in Fort Wayne. She will address their journey to America, their troubles learning English, and their experiences in the United States.
Your parents have already picked your wife for you?
Yes, they decide to make me get married, and they decide which girl I'll take.
Well, there's nothing wrong.
Yep.
Are you happy about it? Are you looking forward?
No. I'm really happy with that.
Have you seen the girl yet or no?
No, I haven't seen it, but because it's from my mother and from my father, I'm gonna take it eye to eye. I'm gonna take her, sorry.
So they pick your wife like they do in most of the Arab countries.
Yeah.
Check out The Goldie Show every Thursday afternoon at 1 o'clock. The Goldie Show, where we believe that everyday people are worth more than gold. I'm Sarah Ellsworth Hoffman. See you soon.